So many LEGO games. But which ones to review? Let's do all of them. Here we have LEGO Stunt Rally, a game released right in between LEGO Racers 1 and 2, which makes it the second LEGO racing game. Just like Racers 1 and 2, this one is from my childhood, but I remember playing this game nowhere near as much as the others. How about we see why? It starts off with a nice looking intro to get us pumped up to play the game, and then comes the main menu along with the Stunt Rally champion, Mr. X.
I'm Mr. X, the world champion and owner of Stunt Island. If you need help, move the hand pointer over something on the screen, then I'll tell you what it does.
His voice. It's so glorious and interesting. It just kind of sucks your ears in, making him
the most interesting man in the world.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Since this game came out a year after LEGO Racers, I was hoping there would be an adaptation of that game's awesome customization features, but unfortunately, LEGO Stunt Rally only has a handful of characters and pre-built cars to choose from. That's a bit disappointing, but hey, it isn't the customization that makes a game great, it's the gameplay. So kids, is LEGO Stunt Rally a great game? Well, guess what? It's not, because all you have to do to beat the game is press one key. And I'm not kidding, press one single key to beat the game. That's because the game auto-steers for you, and all you have to do is occasionally let off the accelerator to make sharper turns. You can press the left and right arrow keys, but it only appears to make a slight difference, and your car only seems to turn when it has to, making the controls feel unresponsive. I would assume this auto-steering was done to make the game easier for kids to play, but I think it's a bit too easy, and it kinda takes away some of the fun that could have been had. Gameplay pretty much comes down to you bumping into other cars, using generic power-ups, careening off the track, and doing extreme stunts! When it comes to careening off the track, that is something you'll be doing all the time, and the game designers had to have known about this problem because the AI does it quite a lot too. But one thing that is kinda cool is that when you pass or bump into them, they will appear in this little box in the bottom left corner with their reactions.
Oh, that guy just cut me off.
I was having fun revisiting this game from my youth, but the main thing that really kills it is the repetitiveness. There's not a whole lot of variety in the tracks themselves, and everything just kinda has a stale taste. Well, it would if you could taste a video game, but that's not really a good idea. The characters are simply forgettable, and some of them act just downright stupid, with the exception of Mr. X, and maybe this guy because he likes to go to town on the steering wheel whenever he wins a race. I don't know. The music is pretty decent, and so are the graphics, but the game simply doesn't offer very much to keep one interested for very long. The story mode is pretty short, just 21 races in 4 different worlds, but since not much has changed up in the gameplay department, it didn't make for the most enthralling experience. If anything, you can beat the game in about an hour, and then move on to the construction mode where you can make your own tracks. I do like letting my imagination roam free in racing games that offer modes like this. Hell, I've been known to sit down and create countless tracks in Trackmania for hours on end. But with this game, even if you make an awesome track, you still only have the same dull gameplay to look forward to. It's nice to have this mode here, but I can live without it. Simply put, LEGO Stunt Rally is just a video game version of slot cars. Just by looking at the game, it reminds me of slot cars simply because of the bird's eye perspective. A version for the Sony PlayStation that featured a much closer perspective was in the works, but it never got released, which is a real shame because it looks more fun than the PC version. There actually was a Game Boy Color port, but, you know, that one's not too good. Probably the best way that I can describe the PC version is to use this analogy. Did you use your microwave today? Well, if so, then congratulations! You pressed more buttons than you ever will in LEGO Stunt Rally. In all honesty though, it is a fairly decent game, but what about adding mods to make it better? Thanks to users on the Rock Raiders United forums, manually controlling your car is now possible. Yes, it's true. If you simply add the command freeform to the target path on the end of this file, you can experience the way the game was truly meant to be played. But why stop there? Want to make it so that your car stops respawning when you go off the track? Well, now you can with the IG test command. Now you can go wherever the hell you want without the game scolding you. Unfortunately, you can't skip big parts of the track to get ahead, and sometimes you'll run into the glitches, but hey, it's pretty cool that these were even found. The manual steering makes the game a lot more entertaining. In fact, now that I've done this mod, I can't turn it off. It's amazing what a simple adjustment can do to a game. Well, I might as well mention this one because it's the only other LEGO racing game from the time period. Here we have Drome Racers. Again, they dropped LEGO from the title and just called it Drome Racers. I don't know if they were trying to be cool or what, but it ain't working with me. Released in 2002 for PC and all the main 6th generation consoles, it was the last major LEGO racing game ever released, and it was actually made by ATD, the same company behind LEGO Racers 2. At the main menu, there's a standard fare of racing options, including the career mode, which is what I chose. Okay, Drome 2015, hey, I remember that year. We got this robot thing flying around in a variety of biomes, looks pretty good, and... Wait, that's it? What kind of career intro was that? That looked more like a PS2 tech demo. I timed it and it only lasted 37 seconds. So after a load screen, we're greeted by these lovely people who start calling me Max and tell me information about the Drome Championship. And that's really all you get. So in short, this game throws you into a lackluster story, and what little story is here is extremely cliche. You're just some guy named Max who wants to win the Drome Championship. Wonderful. So here in this clustered menu of sorts, we have these people who look... odd. There's John Clooney, George Clooney's disproportional brother. I mean, just look at those hands. Chicane, who should really change her profession to a belly dancer. And then we have... After choosing a car and track, we're off to venture into the nitty-gritty of the game. But to be honest, there's not really much to say. It's your average on- and off-road racer with power-ups thrown in. The career mode comes down to just you trying to win races and qualifying for those races by doing drag races. Yeah, drag races. But it's not just one drag race for one standard race. No, you drag race multiple times just to qualify for one race, which gets pretty repetitive after a while. As far as the main races go, I did find them to be a little amusing, but the thing that really killed them for me was the races that took place on roads, simply because I could not control the car. I was skidding and spinning out almost constantly, and I felt like I was driving on ice. However, the next race was on dirt, and suddenly I barely had any problems control-wise. I could actually go around turns properly, so the dirt tracks were enjoyable. Oh yeah, and it had a... Rolling Stone! So, that was cool. If you look past the flawed controls, this game isn't really bad as a whole, it's just that there's nothing significant that sets it apart from other racing games. Sadly, Drome Racers is just another run-of-the-mill racer that fails to live up to the greatness of the original LEGO Racers, or even LEGO Racers 2. One of the things that makes those games still stay fresh is the virtually endless possibilities for character and car creation. But Drome Racers lacks that, which increases its genericness and decreases its replayability. Truth be told, I think this is my least favorite LEGO racing game simply because it has barely anything to do with Legos. It would have helped if they tried making the story related to Legos in some way, or at least throw in a few minifigures here and there, but nope, making it no surprise that the LEGO name was dropped from the title. It's actually kind of sad that the LEGO racing games had to end like this. It began as a very fun, creativity-encouraged series, but was turned into a generic and mediocre experience that had little impact. But what's even more sad is that ATD went out of business in 2003 within less than a year after the release of Drome Racers. And you can tell that attention to detail put some serious heart and soul into their games. They created Roll Cage and its sequel, which were two of the best racing games on the PlayStation 1. Blast Chamber, a fun multiplayer action puzzle game, and Cybermorph for the Atari Jaguar? Wow, that's surprising. Now I suddenly have more respect for that game. Oh, and it looks like they're behind Sydney 2000 and Salt Lake 2002. Wait a second. ATD developed the two Olympic Games in 2000 and 2002, and they went out of business in 2003. So if they were to keep going, they would have developed Athens 2004 instead of Eurocom, and then ATD could have made, well, son of a bitch, Torino 2006! That terrible game I reviewed back in 2014. My god, we've come full circle. Surely old Torino would have had a chance of not sucking if it was behind the same developer who made some pretty great racing titles. But then again, Salt Lake flopped, so who the hell knows what could have been. Nonetheless, ATD will be forever remembered by their exceptional games and interesting history. And because their name is similar to a home security company. Yeah, that too. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching the video. It really does mean the world to me. If you would like, you can check out the previous episode I did on the LEGO Island series, or the next part of this incredible LEGO marathon. And if you want to know what Torino 2006 is all about and why it's so bad, then that episode is right here as well. And of course, as always, hitting that subscribe button is appreciated. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.